Okay, well, that is a little bit on the history of International Students' Day. And although it was somber in terms of its historical past, right now the commemoration, Ferdy, is hopefully full of hope, full of joy, as a remembrance of what happened, but also as an appreciation of our international students who have struggled for the freedom and now are able to, pursue the highest levels of education. And speaking of which, I also believe we have, two very wonderful people who will be joining us in the studio, virtually, however, because they're international. So why don't we just invite them here?
Yes, so we would like to invite Lalu and Lulu. So they're coming from the University of Florence and also the Cambridge University. Hello, Lalu and Lulu. How are you today?
Hello, hello.
Hey guys.
It's good.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on this show. And I can see that you are still looking very refreshed, very energetic. Are we on the same time zone? Because I thought that we are on a different time zone.
Yeah, it's like another late study session, just with a better lighting. So, yeah, we're looking good.
Wow. What time is it there right now from Lulu as well as Lalu?
It's 1:30, so it's quite late, and I have to catch up with the reading list for tomorrow's session.
Oh, okay. That's so wonderful. I mean, thank you for giving your time and energy with so late like this, but we'll make it brief and we'll make it compact. So let's start with our first question. Why do you choose the university and what major? What's the reason behind all those?
I guess
Okay.
Lalu can go first.
Right. So yeah, I'm currently in Florence, Italy. I'm studying at the University of Florence, and it's my second year of a master's program focused on geography, spatial management, and international cooperation. So, yeah, this program is it's pretty niche and it's pretty unique. That's why I choose Florence to be my my goal to study for, because I don't think it's widely available, and it's just so focused and unique in the platform of geography that I'm studying.
Wow, that's most definitely a very niche and interesting major, as you said, geography, and all the way in Florence as well. Buongiorno to you, right there at 1:30 a.m. And Lulu, do you also share that same intention before you went to Cambridge?
Okay. Currently, I'm studying a Master of Philosophy in Education, Globalization, and International Development. So it's such an amazing combination of education and development studies. And previously, I learned in my undergrad, I learned majoring education. We come from the same university actually, with different batch. My interest rose from my realization, like my interest in inclusive education, and also currently I'm focusing on a project regarding aspiration and STEM education for youth with disabilities in Indonesia, and also why I chose Cambridge because it's quite similar to Harry Potter. So I really love Harry Potter. It's it's Gryffindor, Slytherin, and
Oh yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So speaking about the education major, what is the difference about the learning methods that you found between Indonesia and the country that you're studying?
Mm, Based on my experience in Indonesia, the teaching is more lecture based. The teacher often explain the topic and student follow along, like more as a listener. But here in Cambridge, I couldn't generalize like all the UK university, but I feel like here in Cambridge, the biggest difference is the level of independence. So you are giving a bunch of reading lists, and you come to the class with the expectation and your critical understanding. So you're ready to participate in the class, rather like asking questions, sharing opinions and also responding to others. So, and the other one, I think it's about justification. So back home in Indonesia, I often just knew something was right and this was wrong. But here, I need to justify everything, totally everything, like why this is right and why this is wrong, what the reasoning behind this, and how, like theories connected together, and why different result happen even within the same subject. So it's quite interesting. So I think it's it was challenging at the beginning though, but it really interesting and really helped me to grow.
Wow, and I guess with that, also comes its own sets of challenges, but also it's learnings that you can implement later on in your career and life. And Lalu, also, what are some of the most memorable projects that you have endeavored through, especially in the University of Florence? Do you also share of what before Lulu said before that it's turns out it's not that easy, and because of the difference in learning methods, you also had to adapt to the projects that you do there?
I mean, in my program is actually it's a healthy mix. Of course, the when you're studying in Europe, it comes with the independent study and like the vast level of critical analysis, and especially at the master's level, you're expected to synthesize vast amount of literatures and kind of like prepare the comprehensive the oral examinations as more of what we experience in Indonesia than what we experience in Indonesia, And the challenges, the most memorable, I think, would be the assignments when we're doing like a site visit. I can say. So there's this, for example, like an assignment I've had like a few weeks ago when we're doing an accessibility audit. So we just strolling around the city of Florence, the historical city, and just it wasn't just about measuring like sidewalks. We were just like measuring humans. So, for example, you're measuring the challenges, not only physical but also emotional, and you're putting yourself in the shoes of the people who not always like you are, who is like able-bodied, but also the people who are disabled. For example, are they excluded from the space? Are they emotionally also excluded from the space? So it's about the spectrum of accessibility for the people who experience the city. So these kind of audit or like observations that we're doing throughout the city, especially when you're doing it in a city such as Florence, which abundant of like historical, natures and architectures. It's really fascinating, and it's a humbling and profound experience.
That must be very big challenges. Well, speaking about challenges, for both of you, is there any moment that you're feeling really low, that you feel you want to give up? And then how do you cope with that and move along?
Yeah, how do you navigate through that?
I mean, this is very interesting, one boy and one girl, and so both of you have different ways to navigate with your life.
I guess.
I mean, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, go first because like. No, the biggest challenges, of course, living in Europe has been navigating the bureaucracy. I think, especially with the Italian bureaucracy, sometimes it works really slow from residency permits and administrative processes at university can be very complex. But yeah. There's always like I think a moment when you're trying to like, no, I can't do this anymore. I just try to give up and everything. But like, because of the initial feeling of like isolation. But I try to navigate that with like reconnecting with my roots. I started to focus on like preparing on things that I like. For example, like Indonesian food is actually getting me like through a lot of things. Actually, it's became a stress reliever and way to bond with like friends, especially when you have like Indonesian friends also studying in the same city with you. You know, sharing the same culture, the same burden with you. These small acts of like keeping home close, you know, it fueled my determination to succeed actually.
Oh, that's such a beautiful thing of how community, is also one of the things that could really help people in these times where you are just separated from so much of familiarity. What about you, Lulu?
For me myself, because this is my first time studying in UK, and also my first month actually, because my program is quite short, only less than 1 year. So there were moments when I felt very overwhelmed, especially when managing with health issues the day I come here, and also the tight deadline at the same time. Um, I remember one night working alone in my college, Downing College. I feel like I couldn't keep up. I just want to give up because it's too a lot. I have to read a lot, and also like many unassessed assignment, because we only only 3 assignment that will be assessed. But then how I navigate this, with my support system, like calls and messages from my family in Indonesia, like catch up with friends in Cambridge, and also with uh, PCINU in United Kingdom also become my family, and also my supervisor. I got my supervisor, even though at the beginning of my study. So my supervisor Binda always told to me that it's okay, Lulu, you will be fine. You will be fine. She always talked to me like that, and what really keeps me going on is always remember the reason why I'm here, and that I'm living my own dream, and I want to learn something. I want to know something. So, and yeah, I want to bring something like knowledge that important that I can bring back to my hometown, Indonesia.
That's very interesting. And speaking about the skill sets that you're developing over there, what is the first skills that you're actually developing, not just from the study? Maybe it's about how you thinking, about how you're communicating, or maybe you become more open-minded.
Okay, I think the first one is independence, of course, because arrive in like such an alien country, I learned to handle everything from like cooking to navigating to the city, and the basic one is to dealing with the UK's unpredictable weather. You can have a bright sunshine for 10 minutes, and then very heavy rain 3 minutes later. So yeah, I always bring my umbrella everywhere I go. And the other one, I learned about communication, cross-cultural communication, especially in academic, because it's really important to have a communication with my colleagues, with my classmates, and with my professor. So from this experience, I have learned to express my idea more confidently in discussion in a seminar, or even in like a discussion in non-formal activity. And I think the most important thing is critical thinking skill, because Cambridge really trains you to analyze issue more deeply, like questioning every assumption you made, and always having solid reasoning behind every argument. So again, it's a matter of justification. So I think it's free skill.
Thank you, Lulu. And also to Lalu, of course, living in Europe is vastly different than any other continents in the world. And Florence as a country has its own, way of being. How do you feel you've also changed or evolved compared to your time before and now during your study abroad?
I mean, in terms of this, we always talk about like how is it different and how is it like very, for example, incomprehensible for sometimes when the first time you move here. But I would just like to highlight, sometimes it's not that really different. Sometimes you don't realize it's kind of similar also, because like Italians live in a way, in a philosophy they call la dolce vita, is actually translated to the sweet life. So this kind of like laid back style of living, like attitude, and then when you're going to close your shops at like 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. and then you open it again. It's just kind of the same thing, because I came from Lombok, right? It's an island, and then you go
Wow.
to the beach every now and then it's just it's kind of similar in some ways, and then that actually made me realize that I can actually adapt myself, like by not really don't always focus on what are like the different things. Like you should see where parallels with each other, and then you kind of take it into account, and then you kind of like just do it how you did it before in your home country. Just look how is it like similar, and then you can I think you can like, probably navigate by yourself easily.
Oh, that's so interesting of the fact that, coming from Lombok and now to, even Lombok and Italy, there's still similarities, present there in terms of the culture. I guess in, many parts of Spain too, there's still like the laid back, the sweet life type of thing. And can you also both let us know what are some of your plans after graduation? Are you planning to, explore more of the work there, type of the industries, or go back home to Indonesia, starting from Lalu first?
Yeah, my program is about international cooperation, so I think I feel open to both. Probably I could go back to Indonesia now and then start my career there, and then probably I can stay here, gain my experience in Europe, applying my spatial and heritage management skills in Europe. But my ultimate goal is to return to Indonesia, because like when everybody's trying to go to Bali, like why not go back? It's a paradise, and we have an incredible natural and cultural heritage also. So I want to use the high level expertise I gain in Florence to contribute to the sustainable development and management for our own national treasures that we have, because we have a lot of it. And then I just want to be that one person that started to change and not really trying to abandon my roots, because I'm a proud person because of my identity and my personality as an Indonesian and as a person, as a kid from Lombok.
Yeah, and that identity can also, as you said, be used for the good, and hopefully, as you're forging through this new industry of sustainability, it can continue to open more doors for you. And what about you, Lulu?
To be honest, I feel like have the same opinion. Like I open to both. But my long-term goal is also, of course, to back home to Indonesia and contribute to my society. I want to work on inclusive education related to youth development, and also creating more opportunities for marginalized community, because previously I founded Upwork with my team. So we recorded audiobooks for students with disabilities, and we distributed them to some of the provinces in Indonesia as well. And also we developed Netraku. It's such AI and IoT based application, mobile application and portable camera to help the mobility of people with visual impairment. So it can read object, to detect object, read text, and also identifying money, also navigating the way. So it can guide them to read yellow line, like special path for people with visual impairment as well. And also I hope after this master degree, right after, I also hope to further my studies into PhD in education at Cambridge as well after my master. But I also my plan B is working abroad for a short period. So that would, help me gain more experience. But, I'm proud to be Indonesian. I'm from Lampung and I'm proud to be Indonesian. So Indonesia will always be my home. That's, where my heart belongs to. So where my contribution is, I think needed the most.
Wow, interesting. So tell us both of you, what's your favorite food? What people there perceive Indonesians in general?
Yeah, are there any, I mean, like, things that you really miss from home? I mean, when we were both living in New York, I feel like there's so many things that weren't available there,
exactly.
that now are just treasures there. So what, in your experience, has been that? Starting from Lulu first.
Okay, my friends, I think the people here generally see Indonesia as warm, friendly, and also very diverse. Many also surprised by how big and multicultural we are in Indonesia. One of my professor, like Professor Syed Yusuf, is actually very interested in Indonesian women's education reform, especially in halakoh, such a halakoh style learning that women gather together to learn something, but especially for women. So I've read the article as well that really impressive, and my professor really interested in this kind of learning style. And I was, surprised. He knew that the term of halakoh. So I'm really surprised about that. And also, it made me realize that Indonesia has, a visible presence globally. So I think we just need more young Indonesian to bring our stories, unique stories here.
All right.
Indeed.
And what about you, Lalu?
Yeah, of course. Italians are generally very enthusiastic about Indonesia. I mean, whenever I met with like my new friends, for example, when I said I'm from Indonesia, and it was like, sei di Bali, che bello, those kind of things, like very surprised, and then like kind of want to know more about how Indonesia as a country is, because like, and it's quite surprising when you try to interact with them, and then they started to realize the sheer geographic and like the cultural diversity of Indonesia beyond just Bali, and they're often surprised to learn about the the historical ties to Europe or the complexity of the political landscape and everything. I'm getting ahead of myself, but like it's it just highlights the importance of the role just like Lulu said, we play as a students and being like international cultural ambassadors. We kind of share this identity that we brought with us here and the other part of the world.
And well, that's really beautiful to hear of how that's also a role that we take. Just very, very shortly, can you just give us one short advice, like one sentence, for upcoming international students who are willing to be abroad, starting from Lalu and then Lulu? Just one sentence of your advice.
My sentence would be seek your discomfort, because I believe that amazing things happen outside of your comfort zone. So yes, seek your discomfort.
Okay, and what about Lulu?
I just want to say, like, dare to dream big, because God placed that dream in your heart for a reason, because He knows you can achieve it. So I think just do it, because nothing will happen if you never start. So yeah, happy International Student Day.
Wow, amazing.
Wow,
And
beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, especially Lulu Atal Awalia from Cambridge University and Lalu Shamaizar from University of Florence. Grazie. Thank you for your time with us today, and we also wish you a very great International Students Day and to have a wonderful time with your studies there. Thank you, everybody.